Hi everybody, it's Kathy from Huckleberry Herbs and Art, and as promised I am here to play with the new Distressed Oxide inks from Tim Holtz and Ranger. And if you haven't heard of these, they are a brand new combination of inks, of dye and pigment, and the combination allows them to do things that all the other inks that we have can't do. Tim Holtz says it was years in the making, and I've been watching and trying to learn how to use these and the different things they can do. I thought I'd start sharing a little with you. If you would like any of these items, you can go to my store, HuckleberryHerbs.com, and pick up the distressed inks. I think I have everything except for the maple. All the other colors are there. And I'm also working in my Excuse the Sound of the Wax paper Diane Reevely art journal, because the paper is very smooth, and I just wanted to try something that I saw someone else do on a video. If I can find the link, I will leave it below. And I'm going to be using Wilted Violet, Spiced Marmalade, and Worn Lipstick on the art journal, so I might as well just dig in. They do have pigment and dye, right? So the inks, if you really mix them on the pad, you'll see the other colors on there. So I'm going to attempt not to, but as Tim Holtz says, just wipe it off. It's not contaminated in the form of being destroyed. It's just there's some ink on it, so wipe it off. Okay, I'm going to take one of these ink pads, and this is the Spiced Marmalade, and I have wax paper. I'm a very neat art journalist, and I'm just going to press down and start to smear some of these inks onto my page. Just having fun. Look at that really vivid, beautiful color. Alright, so I have some of the Spiced Marmalade. I would like to get it in the corner. Again, I'm a nitpicky art journal person. And then I'm going to come back in with the Worn Lipstick and spread that across the page. So I'm just creating a background here. I'm not sure what I'll do with it, but I just wanted to dig in and start playing with these. Alright, and then I'm going to come back in and put the darker color on the bottom, the Wilted Violet. And I've only seen one person do this, but I really liked it because as far as creating backgrounds go, I thought it was a great way to just get started. And I want to lay down a good amount, because wait till you see what I'm going to do here. I don't think I need enormous amounts to do this, because the very next thing I'm going to do is wet it. See where I have the wax paper. And there we go. We're starting to see some of that oxidized stuff happening. But before it goes any further, what I'm going to do here is flip this page closed. I know, this is scary. And I'm going to... Now, the person that I saw do it did it with a paper towel. And as you can see, that might be a very smart thing to do, because I'm already getting color all over my hands and making a bit of a mess. So I'm going to start doing this with a tissue so it soaks it up as it goes along. And I don't really care that this page is getting some ink on it, because in the end, I'll come back and do something different with this page. But I do want to keep it from leaking too much. And you're going to end up with more than you would like, because I'm really trying to make sure that this makes contact, both pages. Alright. I wonder, did it work? Shall we? Let's see. Oh my gosh, look at that, huh? Talk about a quick way to get your art journal filled with color and background. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of extra, because I would prefer not to have it leak straight through the book, because I'm picky. So it's okay, because later on, and I have been putting masking tape in between the layers when I really don't want things to bleed through, but I can get this up quickly enough. There we go. And we'll check and see if that really, I like that. And it's drying already. And as you can see, it's a lovely combination of the orange into the pink into the purple. Really, I did no blending, but I want to wait and see after this dries what I would like to do with it. Before I think any further, just let it dry. Alright, now I have some of the 4 1/4 by 5.5 Distressed Watercolor cardstock by Tim Holtz. So this is watercolor paper. It's thicker. It has a bit of texture to it. It'd be interesting to see what happens with this. And I'm going to use the, what do they call it, the smoosh method there. So as Tim said in some of his demonstrations at Creativation or CHA, these pads are not really gushy like the usual pigment pads that we're used to. So press to put down your ink. So I'm putting some of the spiced marmalade and some of the worn lipstick, and I'm separating them a little so I don't get the colors mixed, but they'll mix on the paper. And then I have fossilized amber. See what that looks like. And then I'm going to wet them. And you can see that they kind of light up when you do that. They become much more vibrant. The smoosh method, right? So I'm just going to lay this down, smoosh it, drag it, and there we go. Now I'm going to dry it. So that's what we have so far. I'm going to come back over to my colors again, and I think I'm going to keep them kind of going in the same direction. I'm going to smoosh it down here where I know I need some, drag it, and then I've colored in some of those spots, but I'm going to stop and dry it again. So you're starting to see some of the oxidizing that's going on. I'm going to bring it back and start to pick up little spots and dry it again. And trying to switch the colors around a little bit. Maybe get a little of the yellow over here. Pick up some more of that worn lipstick. I want to get every drop that I have here. Why waste it? Alright, and as you can see, there's a lot of orange, so I would like to come back in and add some highlighted spots of the pink and the yellow tones. So I'm going to do a smaller spot of the fossilized amber and the worn lipstick. I'm going to wet those. And then I'm going to go in and grab myself some pink, grab some yellow, dry it. More pink, more yellow, and the last few drips. Alright, what I'd like to do now, which you would not normally do with regular dye ink, is I want to start adding in some colors that we would normally not blend in. So I have some broken china. And I'm just going to go in, and as long as this is dry, we're actually laying down color on top, and it will not bleed and blend together to become brown. So let's see if we're successful. Once you hit it, So normally this would be brown by now. And then I think I would like to add just a little bit more of highlighted of the pink in the middle to make that stand out. Well, I think that's really interesting, and it does have the chalky look to it, but not a chalky feel. Please excuse this. This came from the art journal, right? Yeah, I like that. I think I'll try another one with a different combination. Pistachio. Cracked pistachio. Can't help myself. I keep going back to that. No, I'll get the broken china on here first. Let's do these two and see if we can layer the pink afterwards. So I'm going to actually put down more and streak it like Tim did. You know, he put a streak rather than a square. And it seems to work really well on that initial time through. And then I think I'll make sure that the cracked pistachio ends up down here and the blue over there, if I can think straight how to do that. Let's see if I can get those edges. Alright, that's a pretty interesting start. Now, what if we then take the worn lipstick? And normally you wouldn't put the pink on the top, right? Because it would start to make mud. Finding the lighter the touch, the more speckled. Alright, I'm liking that so far. That's really neat. What do I want to do next? I wonder if we put a little of the wilted violet in. Just the same way that we did the worn lipstick. A couple of popping purple colors. Let's try that. Alright, gentle touch. I like it. I like that. Why don't we try some of this spruced ice by a brick red? What will that look like? Here we go. Certainly interesting. And come back in with just the red. I like where it's going. A little more of the spruce dice, especially on that spot that's bothering me. What do you think? Beta Jean? It's very industrial looking, but that would be great for steampunk or masculine cards. I like it. This time, let's try peeled paint, cracked pistachio, and fossilized amber. Alright, and now I think I would like to add more of the cracked pistachio. Alright, looking at the ones that I've done so far, they're lovely, but I definitely need one that has more pink. So, as a pink base, and I could just go across the whole thing, but I want a really good pink base on one of them. So let me just pick up a whole bunch of pink. I don't even have to worry about contaminating here, right? So I can just swirl my pink around and try to get, ooh, look at that. That's cool. Get some more pink. Cover up those edges. Make sure I got it all used up and all covered and saturated in pink. And then I'm going to hit it with water. And maybe you can see what's happening. We're getting a lot of those little spots in there. And I'm going to hit it again. And then I think I'll just hit it with big droplets of water. And this is actually showing the oxidation probably better than anything else I've done, because it's just one color and you can see all the depth of the one color and what's happening to the one color. And that you can come in and then I think I'll lay down even more pink. And see if I can get the darker speckles on there. You have to do this really lightly, especially with this cardstock. Well, watercolor paper. Now with this, I think I would actually like a little bit of the iced spruce. And I want those little teeny spots. We just do it there, very lightly. And now just a touch of the cracked pistachio. Just a touch. It's fun to play with the colors, that's for sure. This makes me want to lay down even more pink in the tiniest of speckles on top. I think you can really develop your own style with these. Everybody's going to come up with all their different favorite ways of using these. Alright, so see if I can just barely touch. Alright, I think I could keep on playing with this, but I'm going to leave that as done. And now I'd like to show how blending goes on these. And I'm actually going to use the same watercolor paper, but I'm going to do this, the smooth side. Okay, so this is the cracked pistachio. These are going to smooth out onto this paper fairly easily. My hands are very contaminated. I'm covered. So that it's, and I like the little bit of white in between, but you can really smooth these out. You know, you come into the edge and you don't end up with the circle or the square. Alright, so let's make a, I need to stop and wash my hands. I have ink everywhere on my hands. Alright, let's do that on the bottom. Some broken china on the top. And blend them in. So as you come in from the edges, so normally I would have all kinds of rings and circles, you know, when you do something like that. That becomes a real problem with dye ink, and it will stay, but I'm able to blend this away. Look at that. Isn't that great? So that's going to be great when making something like your blended background stamps, spots. Isn't that nice? Oh goodness, my contaminated fingers have made a mess down here. Let me see if I can fix that. What's cool is that the pigment ink keeps it a little damp for a while, so that I could come in and fix that. And the best idea is probably to tape these down when you're working on them, so that you don't have to keep sticking, because it's pigment ink and you don't have to keep sticking your fingers in it. So that's a nice background, just simple. Very simple and easy to do as far as blending. Here's where we started with the journal, and I'm definitely going to have to come back and show the black, because craft paper and black dark colored cardstock, it's going to work really well with these inks because it has the pigment in it. Again, I think we're all going to be discovering a lot about these. So there's the one I just did, which I think I'll stamp up and make into a card right away. And here's the mostly pink one. Really cool looking, yeah. And here is the cracked pistachio, the worn lipstick, the broken china, and the wilted violet. And here is the spiced marmalade and the cracked pistachio, and oh my goodness, I'm getting lost. And here's the really neat one that I did that I said, you know, wasn't necessarily my favorite colors, but I wanted to make sure I put something in for everybody to enjoy. And then this one here is the one that I started doing that with, because I started with reds, which are not normally my personal go-tos. So look at all of these. These are so cool. Alright, I'm definitely going to have to make some cards and stuff with these. I hope you enjoyed watching me go through these processes. And I'll be back because these inks are really interesting. HuckleberryHerbs.com, where you can find just about every color, plus the dilutions, books, the journals, and so much more. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. This was fun. Till next time, this is Kathy from Huckleberry Herbs and Art. God bless.